Want to speak real Hindi from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HindiPod101.com.
10 words, 10 sentences which you would love to listen from others. So let's start. आज आप बहुत सुंदर दिख रहे हो. You are looking great today. Our first sentence is आज आप बहुत सुंदर दिख रहे हो. You are looking great today. Well, who will not want to listen this sentence from anyone? मुझे आपकी याद आती है. I miss you. मुझे आपकी याद आती है. I miss you. तुमने बहुत अच्छा काम किया. Which means you did a great job. तुमने बहुत अच्छा काम किया. Which means you did a great job. Well, if you have done a project or maybe you have finished an assignment and if you get to hear this, nothing like that. आप एक बहुत अच्छे बावर्ची हैं. You are an excellent cook. आप एक बहुत अच्छे बावर्ची हैं. You are an excellent cook. Well, I love to eat and I like to compliment people who cooks a great meal or who cook a lot of meals for me. Well, it's a good way of appreciating a person is putting a lot of efforts in cooking. We should appreciate that. एक ब्रेक ले लो, आज मैं सफाई करता हूँ. You take a break, I'll be doing cleaning today. एक ब्रेक ले लो, आज मैं सफाई करता हूँ. You take a break, I'll be doing cleaning today. और तुम जीत गए, and you win. Our next sentence is और तुम जीत गए, and you win. Well, every sports person would love to hear this sentence from the opposite team that you have won. That's why we play. आप ठीक कह रहे थे. You were right. आप ठीक कह रहे थे. You were right. आप ठीक कह रहे थे. You were right. मैं आपके लिए कुछ खास लाया हूँ. I have brought something special for you. मैं आपके लिए कुछ खास लाया हूँ. I have brought something special for you. Well, I'm the one who loves to get surprises from others, and whenever someone comes and says this sentence, it just gives me goosebumps. I don't know what comes, but a surprise is a surprise. Budget असीमित है, which means the budget is unlimited. Our next sentence is budget असीमित है, which means the budget is unlimited. Well, trust me, if you're a corporate guy or if you're into marketing, most of the times you get a limited budget. But imagine your manager is coming up to you and saying that this time the budget is unlimited. आपकी मेडिकल रिपोर्ट बहुत अच्छी है. Your medical report is absolutely fine. आपकी मेडिकल रिपोर्ट बहुत अच्छी है. Your medical report is absolutely fine. Just imagine you're going to a doctor and you get to hear this sentence from your doctor that you are doing pretty good, your health is pretty good. The most commonly used words in Hindi. Namaste. Hello. So our first word is Namaste. So this is a very courteous way of saying hello in Hindi. So whenever we want to greet someone in Hindi, we just fold our hands and say Namaste, which means hello in English. Suprabhat. Good morning. Moving on to the next word, which is Suprabhat, which means good morning. Shubh Ratri. Good night. Shubh Ratri, which means good night. Shubh Sandhya. Good evening. Shubh Sandhya, which means good evening. आपका नाम क्या है? What is your name? Moving on to the next set of words, which is आपका नाम क्या है, which means in English, what is your name? मैं हूँ. I am. So to reply to this question, we can always answer like मेरा नाम अनुज खुराना है। My name is अनुज खुराना। आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई। Nice to meet you. आपको मिलके खुशी हुई। Nice to meet you. आप कैसे हैं? How are you? So next set of words is asking someone that how they are doing. आप कैसे हैं? How are you? जी मैं ठीक हूँ और आप? I'm fine, thanks. And you? So to reply to this question, we can always answer like मैं ठीक हूँ. I'm fine, thank you. कृपया, please. कृपया, which means please. Whenever we are requesting someone, we always use this word कृपया. कृपया आप मुझे अपना पेन दे दीजिए. Please give me your pen. So always remember, कृपया is a very courteous way of saying please. धन्यवाद. Thank you. Our next word is thank you. धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद आपने मुझे यहाँ पर बुलाया. Thank you for inviting me here. कोई बात नहीं. You're welcome. कोई बात नहीं. Which means you're welcome. So whenever someone is saying thank you to us, like धन्यवाद in Hindi, we can always address them like कोई बात नहीं. You're welcome. हाँ. Yes. So the next word is हाँ, which means yes. हाँ मेरा नाम अनुज खुराना है. Yes, my name is Anuj Khurana. Nahi, no. So opposite to yes, the next word is no. Nahi. Nahi, मैं आज dinner नहीं खाऊंगा. No, I'm not going to have dinner tonight. ठीक है. Okay. ठीक है, which means okay in English. ठीक है, आज आप थोड़ा लेट आ जाना. Okay, you can come a bit late today. मुझे माफ कीजिएगा. Excuse me. मुझे माफ कीजिएगा. Which means excuse me. मुझे क्षमा करें. I'm sorry. मुझे क्षमा करें. Which means please forgive me. मुझे क्षमा करें. आज मैं थोड़ा लेट हूँ. Please forgive me. I'm a bit late today. शौचालय कहाँ है? Where is the restroom? शौचालय कहाँ है? Which means where is the restroom? एक मिनट रुकिए. Wait a moment. Our next set of words are एक मिनट रुकिए, which means wait a moment. एक मिनट रुकिए, मैं अभी वापस आता हूँ. Wait a moment, I'll be back. यह कितने का है? How much is this? यह कितना है? How much is it? It is like asking someone like, how much is this? How much is this number? यह कितना है? क्या मुझे चेक मिल सकता है? Can I get the check, please? क्या मुझे चेक मिल सकता है? Which means, can I get the check, please? बधाई हो. Congratulations. बधाई हो, which means congratulations. बधाई हो, आप हिंदी पॉड 101 से हिंदी सीख रहे हैं. Congratulations, you are learning Hindi from hindipod101.com. फिर मिलेंगे. See you later. फिर मिलेंगे, which means see you again. अपना ध्यान रखिएगा. Take care. Coming to the end of this lesson, so our next word is अपना ध्यान रखिएगा, which means take care. Alvida. Goodbye. So the last word for this lesson is alvida. Goodbye. Alvida, हम जल्द ही मिलेंगे. Goodbye. We're gonna meet again.
Want to speak real Hindi from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at hindipod101.com.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I am Venus.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Hindi pronunciation.
Just like English, Hindi also has consonants and vowels.
Hindi has 33 main consonants and 11 vowels. If you learn the sounds of these consonants and vowels, you'll be able to pronounce every single word in Hindi.
There are also 2 additional consonants and 2 additional vowels, as well as few conjuncts, but you don't have to worry about them right now.
Yes, because once you're comfortable with the 33 main consonants and the 11 vowels, the rest will come pretty easily.
It may seem like a difficult task, but actually you already know many of these sounds in English.
So, how about we first take a look at some of the consonants in Hindi?
Yes, let's begin with some unaspirated consonants along with their aspirated counterparts.
We won't be working on the consonants in the order they occur in the Hindi alphabet system simply because some of them are more commonly used than others. We'll take a look at these in order when we get to the lesson on writing.
Hindi consonants are known as Vyanjan.
Yes, you're already familiar with many of them because the sounds already exist in English or are quite similar to certain sounds in English.
For example, the first consonant in Hindi is K, which is similar to the English letter K.
But the next one doesn't exist in English.
Yes, this one is K. When you say it without aspiration, you get K. But when you say it with aspiration, it becomes K.
Interesting. But let me first explain what aspirated and unaspirated sounds are. In very simple words, we can say that aspirated sounds are spoken with a burst of air, and an unaspirated sound isn't.
For example, the sound of the letter H in the English word hat. Saying this sound involves a forceful expulsion of air. Try it yourself. Ha.
Ha!
In Hindi, when you say K, there is no forceful expulsion of air. But when you say K, you will feel yourself expelling the air from your mouth. Try it yourself and see the difference. K, K. Next, let's take a look at G, which is the same as the sound of the letter G in the English word game. Yes, when you say G without aspiration, you get G. But when you say it with aspiration, you get G.
Yes, that's the next consonant. It works the same way for some other consonants too.
Yes, like Ch is the same as the CH in the English word chain without aspiration. When you say Ch with aspiration, it becomes Ch. Similarly, we have J and J, T and Th, D and Dh, T and Th, D and Dh, P and P, B and Bh.
But what about the other consonants?
Definitely, that doesn't complete our list of consonant sounds. Now, let's take a look at some of the other consonants and how they sound. Let's first take a look at the consonant H. It sounds like the letter H in the English word hug. We also have Y, which is like the sound of the letter Y in the English word yak.
There are two letters that sound like the SH in the English word share.
Yes, these are sh and sh. They sound the same when spoken. We will use the small letter s to denote them both from now on. We also have a sound that is similar to the English letter s, like in the word sun. This is s. This one is s, and we will use the capital S from now on when we refer to it.
Okay, what's next?
We also have N. N is just the sound of the English letter N. R is the same as the sound of the letter R in rat. L is the same as the sound of the letter L in lamb. M is the same as the sound of the letter M in march. V is the same as the sound of the letter W in work.
Are there any other consonants in Hindi that we haven't discussed?
We also have N.
This may seem to be a difficult sound, as it doesn't exist in English.
Just try saying N, but roll back your tongue slightly. N.
But aren't we still missing two consonants?
Yes, we are. We also have N and N. But we don't have to worry much about them since they aren't used alone ever.
So now that we've taken a look at the consonants, how about we take a quick look at the vowels too?
The Hindi vowels are known as swar.
There are 11 main vowels in Hindi, and most of them are the same as in English.
For example, A is like the sound of the letter A in the English word apply. A is like the sound of the letter A in the word father. E is like the letter I in tin. E is like the letters E in C. Then we have U, which is like the letter U in put. And U is like the sound of the letters O in room. A is like the A in May. A is like the sound of the letter A in hat. We also have O and O. O sounds like the O in box, and O sounds like the letters AW in sa. We also have another vowel which is Ri, something like the RI in riddle. We actually learned a word in the last lesson which uses Ri, kripaya, which means please.
Indeed! So, how are vowels used in Hindi?
Hindi vowels can be used alone or in the form of a matra or vowel signs where it modifies a consonant. A good example where both the forms can be used in a single word is the Hindi word acha, meaning good or okay. Acha. A. The first letter A is a standalone form of the vowel A. Cha. But if you see the matra at the end, after the letter ch, the vowel A here is modifying the consonant ch. This means that the sound now becomes ch plus a, cha. Let's see how the vowels modify the consonant k. It can become ka, ki, ku, ke, ko.
That's a lot that we learned about the sounds in Hindi.
It may seem as too much to learn in the beginning, but as you continue to practice, things will get easier.
True. The best thing to do is practice, practice, and practice. In this lesson, we learned that in Hindi there are 33 consonants and 11 vowels.
Consonants are called vyanjan in Hindi and vowels are called swar.
The vowels have a standalone version, and when they're attached to a consonant, they modify its sound.
So, in the word acha, the first a is a standalone form of the vowel a, but the last vowel a appears in the form of a modifier and turns ch into cha.
Among the consonants, we realized that there are forms that are already present in English. When we say these consonants without aspiration, we get one consonant. When we say them with aspiration, we get another consonant, which generally doesn't exist in English.
For example, k is a consonant, and when we say it with aspiration, it becomes another consonant kh.
Today we're going to talk about 4 techniques to help you stop translating in your head and instead start thinking in your target language. This will allow you to have conversations with ease, read smoothly, and better understand native speakers. These are 4 methods to help you think in a new language. Number 1. Surround yourself with your target language. This way, you'll be completely immersed in the language. Without realizing it, you'll learn pronunciation, sentence structures, grammar, and new vocabulary. Play music in the background while you're cooking, or have a radio station on while you study. Just use one of our endless podcasts available to you. These are easy to listen to in the background while doing other things. Number 2, learn through observation. This is how we all learned our native languages as kids. Words will develop their own meanings that relate better to your target language, rather than meanings that are translated directly. Number 3, speak out loud to yourself. Even if you're a little embarrassed, it forces you to listen to how you speak. It makes it much easier to spot simple grammar mistakes. Number 4, practice daily. If you practice everything for only one day, you won't retain the information you learned. The brain can realistically only focus for about 30 minutes. So studying a little every day allows you to absorb better.
In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in India. क्या आप तैयार हैं? Are you ready? तो चलिए शुरू करें. So let's begin. Let's start with a greeting you're sure to have heard before. Namaste. This is a word that is so closely associated with India and Indian culture that it has become famous all over the world. Namaste. Namaste. The word namaste is made out of two Sanskrit words, nama and te, which have been joined to mean I salute you. We use namaste as a formal as well as a friendly greeting. It's used when people meet at any time of the day, morning, noon, or evening. A slightly more formal variation on namaste, which you may or may not have heard before, is namaskar. Namaskar. Use this and you'll surely impress your Indian friends. In Hindi, using different greetings for each time of the day is not very common. When talking with friends, we usually just use the English phrases. But there are equivalent Hindi versions. They're just not used that often. If you meet someone before noon, you can say Suprabhat. Suprabhat. For later in the day, you can say Shubh Sandhya. Shubh Sandhya. But for most of the time, you can just say Namaste and not worry about it. As we learned in this lesson, Namaste can mean both hello and goodbye. However, this is not the only way of saying goodbye in Hindi. A parting expression that we can use for all occasions is Fir milenge, which means see you. Fir milenge. Fir milenge. The first word fir means again, and the second word milenge means we will meet. Let's look at one more expression, alvida. Alvida is an Urdu word which means goodbye. Alvida. It is an appropriate choice when parting for a long time. Now, it's time for Prerna's points. The easiest way of saying your goodbyes in Hindi is by using Namaste. Take a slight bow with folded hands and say Namaste. Namaste and Namaskar both come from Sanskrit and mean something like I honor you or I bow to you.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the Dialogue Study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. Want to finally learn Hindi the fast, fun, and easy way? In this video, I'll show you the top 10 ways to get started. So let's begin. Number 1, take your very first lesson. Access any audio or video lesson on HindiPod101.com and just press the play button to get started. Don't have an account? Don't worry. Just go to the sign up page to create an account. It takes less than 30 seconds and it's free. We have thousands of audio and video lessons covering a variety of topics like grammar, pronunciation, listening, and reading. Just click on the play button on any lesson and start learning. Number 2, read along with the lesson. You can read along with the lesson notes or lesson transcript. These come with every lesson. The lesson notes provide you with the dialogue for the scene taught in the lesson, along with translations, a more in-depth explanation of the grammar and culture, and even vocab and sample sentences. The lesson transcript is the full word-for-word transcript of everything you hear in the lesson. And the Dialogue Study tool provides you with the audio for the lesson dialogue, along with the translations. Number 3, shadowing. Shadowing is a tested learning technique where you repeat what you hear. This is a great way to start speaking in minutes and practice speaking in general. If you're listening along with the lesson audio or dialogue, be sure to shadow along the way. Number 4, use the Dialogue Study tool to master the conversation. Here, you get the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation demonstrated in the lesson. Listen and repeat until you've mastered each line. Do this until you've mastered the entire conversation. Number 5, use the voice recorder to perfect your pronunciation and speaking. In the Dialogue Study tool, you'll find a microphone icon next to each line. Click on it to record your voice. Then, compare it with the native speakers. Listen and adjust your pronunciation until you match that of the native speaker. Number 6, review vocab with the lesson vocabulary list. Vocabulary words are the building blocks of language. You can save vocab words taught in each lesson by clicking on Add to Word Bank. Want to drill the words with smart flashcards instead? Just click on Add to Flashcard Deck to do so. Number 7, listen to the review track. If you've studied an audio lesson before, just listen to the review track so that you don't have to listen through the entire lesson again. This is a great way to reinforce the material that you've learned, and it's great to have on the go. Just access any audio lesson and click on the download icon. Then click Review to download the review track. Number 8. Review with quizzes after the lesson. Once you're confident enough with the material taught in the lesson, be sure to take the quiz to test your newfound knowledge. Take the review questions and answer true or false for each one. Or take the writing questions and input your answer. Remember to check the answers by clicking on the Check Answers button. Number 9. Participate and leave a comment. The best way to master what you've learned is to use it. Join the community of learners by leaving a comment below at the end of every lesson. Our dedicated teachers will check your responses to correct you on any mistakes or provide you with helpful study tips and advice. And finally, number 10. Move on to the next lesson. Done with a lesson? Mark the lesson as complete. You can see your overall learning progress on your dashboard. If you particularly enjoyed the lesson, mark the lesson as favorite so that you can come back to it later at any time. Click on the forward arrow to move on to the next lesson and continue learning.